Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. I just wanted to do a real quick update on Snapchat and also wanted to share that this weekend I'm probably going to be announcing some memberships to the channel. There will be 1 to 2 tiers, either 99 cents or $4.99 a month, and that will be opening up a Discord that I think will be kind of useful for just going over casual updates like this, either via screenshots or short videos like this one. But yeah, just an update from yesterday's video. I did want to point out I forgot to have the 50 SMA, the 50-day SMA on the chart, which yesterday we were, had closed, I guess, Monday on the 3rd above, but then today we gapped down. We have earnings. Yesterday we gapped down. Today on the 5th, as I record this during the pre-market, about 15 minutes before the market opens. So not really looking so good. We got earnings in the after hours, but there is some stuff that looks good in the options data that I wanted to follow up on. And so this is the $12 strike call that expires in September of 2026. And this is something that I haven't really seen, where we have, volume yesterday on the 4th of 442 contracts traded. But then we see an increase in open interest of over 2,000. We got this little exclamation point here. And maybe if I zoom in on this, maybe you guys can see it a little bit better. If I zoom in on that, open interest values are sometimes incorrectly disseminated market-wide. When an incorrect value is received, it will correct itself by the next trading session. So the volume values will always be accurate. You can use the volume value of the days surrounding an incorrectly reported open interest to determine which trading session's activity resulted in the adjusted open interest value. And so we do see this spike in open interest not reflected by the volume, and that could be because, actually, I might see if I'm not going to pull it up, but I was exchanging with Grok yesterday trying to understand when open interest changes more than volume. So that wouldn't really make sense, but that's just going to be off exchange orders or market makers adjusting their books, and this would be referred to as like off the tape, something like that. I'm pretty tired, just woke up. I was up late. Sorry about this. But yeah, I mean, I find that to be very interesting, and overall, this is bullish. This is suggesting that there are more positions being opened, and maybe they're being hidden or something, or maybe that's just to adjust the books. So yeah, I mean, I think that looks really good, although this is not short dated. So maybe this is not a bet on earnings. Maybe this is just a bullish bet longer term. If we look at some of the other contracts that I went over yesterday, like the $13 call that expires in June, 225 days between now and expiration. If we scroll down, not a huge amount, but we do see an increase in open interest, so that is bullish. If we look at the $10 call that expires in January, so not as many days between now and expiration, but still multiple months. If we look, we had a volume yesterday of 2,800, and it has gone up by about 500 contracts. So, that's looking good. That's bullish. If we look at the $8 strike call, that expires in less than a few weeks now, about 16 days. This is the one that I hold a fair amount of. This is not my, it's not going to be make or break for me or anything, but I do hold this one. And, volume yesterday was 1,400, and we saw an increase of just shy of 400. So, it's not crazy, not mind-blowing, but it is an increase, and it does balance, the decrease from the previous day. And then if we look at the $8 strike call again, but that expires this coming Friday. So today, as I record this in the pre-market, is November 5th. We can see that we had a volume yesterday of a little bit over 5,000. Open interest increased by 2,000. And then just to do the math, real quick here, So $42, because that's 42 cents times 100 contracts shares per contract. Multiply that by that increase in open interest, and we see that's about $100,000. Betting long, but this is kind of a YOLO because it expires so soon. So that is, it's all very risky with earnings coming up. But there is one other thing I forgot to mention yesterday, so I'm just gonna expand this over here. I'm gonna leave it zoomed in. Still, plus or minus earnings expected to move about $1, but I forgot to cover the max pain. And so let's just zoom in a little bit more. So I can scroll down. We can see those numbers a little bit clearer. Max pain for this coming Friday is 8. Price is currently around $7.50. So maybe it's at a discount. However, max pain for the following Friday is $7.50. So right around where we're at now. But I just find this really interesting because if price starts to go up really high, and next week max pain's lower, that could trigger a gamma squeeze. So this could really be about to break out. And if I do switch this over to the log scale, it doesn't really change the way it looks. It doesn't really look that good overall. It looks pretty bad, but it seems that people are betting on this going up. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. If we break above this trend, we could be going to 10. We could be going higher than that. And, let's just see, since we have broken down a little bit lower here, that Fibonacci extension. Yeah, it's still, the 100%. So that is, just taking the distance from the bottom here to the top and then moving that from the bottom here. That lines up with that line here, and I can show that to you by just extending this point into the future. So I'm going to add, let's see, 305. Oh, let's do 315. Intersects right there perfectly. So yeah, I would be very excited if this gets to 10 by the end of the week. And if it does, I think that, the gamma ramp stuff or whatever, I've noticed that when it really starts to pick up, when it really looks like it's moving, that's actually the top. Things start to roll over. Max pain starts to catch up with price, and then they kind of meet. And then price comes below max pain. So yeah, I think this looks really interesting, really exciting. I think a lot of things look bearish about it, but I think that there are a lot of signals that suggest that it's going to go higher. But, markets are casinos. People lose money all the time. So don't be surprised if this goes down. Be prepared, have a plan if this breaks down below 690. Personally, I don't think that's going to happen. But at the same time, I'm prepared to lose what I've put on the table. It's not going to ruin me. So I think shares are the safer way to go than contracts. But, contracts can be a nice way to either make a lot of money or lose all your money. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful for you guys. But again, I will probably be announcing memberships this weekend. So if you found this helpful, if you found this exciting, following this, learning more about the options data in unusual whales, I think that a membership might be, an interesting option for you. But again, I'm not a professional. I'm just another retail trader that enjoys doing this. I enjoy talking about the numbers, the charts, the patterns, the emotions, and I want to be doing that more. And I think a membership will be a good incentive for me and, a nice way to interact more on the channel. But anyways, with all that being said, thank you so much for being here. Really excited to see what happens with this. And I will have a Power Packs video out later today. I've just got to edit it. That's why I'm tired. I was up opening packs, made a little bit of money doing it. So pretty cool. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Have a great earnings day. And I will probably be active on X, and I might be posting a little bit on the channel. So yeah, comment and all of that. If I don't respond right away, I will at some point. See you guys later. Bye.